Hello Internet, this is Matt Attack here. I got a special bonus episode of my tutorial videos I'm going to be making here really briefly, and this is going to be touching on a totally different subject. This is more than making the map itself. This is what I do a lot to create interesting and landscapes. It's what I call tile stacking or like overlapping, and then I'm going to touch on how to it's and this has come from me, and I really don't have any training in computers. I have the basic computer knowledge I think everybody has now. Okay, so starting with a new map here just to illustrate, sort of jumping ahead here really quickly just so we remember. Now this will come in handy later when I get into the hex editing, but this is what I call my marker piece. Okay, in the temperate theater, it's this thing here. It's like the crashed cockpit or whatever. Okay, I always put something up in the top left corner, because when you open it if I want to know what a cell is, say like I want to know what that is right there, I put it in the top left corner of the map because it'll be the first cell that pops up in the hex editor. For example, I want to know what cell that is. I go like this, boom. You can kind of take it outside the map there. And that'll be the first cell that pops up in the editor, and that's how I find out the piece that I want to steal and insert in somewhere. Okay, but get back to the basic part first. But just remember that marker piece. Show you something. Marker piece, this cockpit, and one of the reasons I picked that is I can search for it easily in the hex or in the bin file because it's a unique text string, I guess you call it. And also, it is one of the few tiles that's interchangeable between theaters. See, in the bin it shows up the same, and this is 4600. I know it by heart, and it works in both the theaters. It's easy for me to remember what it is, and that's these two stones right here. Okay, but anyways, swear to God, getting up with things. Okay, this is what we call, and see I got my marker up there. This is what we call tile stacking or overlapping, or what I call it, I guess. And so I made this island a second ago so I'd remember what I wanted to show and kind of the brief order of it. So if you lay down tiles overlapping in like sort of the proper order, be able to create really weird, unnatural, landscapes you wouldn't usually be able to make with the big preset template tiles. And I try to make mine as perfect as possible. I'll go into play it in CNC DOS, because with the resolution that low, you're just zoomed in, you really can see any flaws. But it's kind of funny though, because in the actual generic tile sets themselves, there's lots of things that kind of don't line up, so it's futile of me to try to be so perfect, but I don't know, I do it anyways. But anyways, here we go. So we're going to build this little island. Okay, there's two passable cells on it, and I just made it so I kind of remember how to do it. Okay, cut down that one. Now we're selecting this other shore, overlapping it right there. Notice that's pretty perfect looking. Okay, now I think there. I love these pieces. These are great for making northeast and northwest corners of islands. And boom, boom, bing. And then, well, make it all perfect. And look, we can even cut that little island off. Okay, so that's the stacking. I mean, I do primarily with shores, but some ridges you can do. And you know, one thing this helps with, one thing that really always bothered me is when you're trying to make, like, say, a multiplayer map symmetrical, and one cliff is two, like the end cliff here is 2 cells wide. The freaking end cliff here is 1 cell wide, so it's really a pain when you're trying to make things symmetrical. But basically, like this, you can stack a couple cliffs. This guy right here, I love this tile. Okay, put it there. I don't know if this is a good example, but not there. Okay, this is one of the few cells of the cliffs you can chop in half. So I'm going to put that piece on the end there, and see, I'm going to overlap. This is where it normally goes. Boom, I can put it there. And that is the 4 cells. You know, if you're really into this, you'll know what I'm saying. You can make it symmetrical. That way, that cliff and this one will merge with a couple different tiles. This one isn't perfect though. That looks kind of weird there. Let's see. Oh, there we go. See? Beautiful. So that's the tile stacking. Let's see. Okay. Now we're going to get into the advanced stuff. Hex editing. Okay, let's clear this out. Now, again, that's my marker piece. See? The cockpit or whatever. Let's go back to desert. I love desert. It's way easier to stack in desert than it is in temperate. The shores in temperate are terrible. I have to do a lot of hex editing to fix those and make those look good. But I gotta force myself to not make every single map desert, basically. Okay, so here we're gonna do some basic hex editing. Let's see. Let's do this. Okay. Here's your bridge, and in order to make it like reach a lake or something, you got to build a river and then use one of these river to lake tiles, and it's a big mess. So figured a way to, I mean, I've seen it done with stacking, tile stacking, but I really like making it look perfect. You know, I don't like to cover things with trees, because if you're a psycho like me, you'll destroy every tree and then you'll see the flaws. And I guess I'm kind of a perfectionist at it, but if you want to do it perfect, this is how you do it. Okay, so there is our bridge, and I can piece little things together to make this just reach the lake right here. Okay, and again, what I do is, if I'm interested in learning what a tile is, you know, I want to know what that tile is, I put that first in the thing. Oops, let me save this. You download yourself a hex editor. There was all kind of freeware ones. The one I use is called XVI32, or I don't know if that's 1632, but XVI32, and I'm guessing they're all pretty much the same though. But you know, you get the hex editor, and like I actually do open with, so I can just click on the bins and get them open. But so that first cell right there, let's click in it. This is what the bin file looks like through a hex editor. Okay, and this right here, these first top 2 squares, each of these 2 squares signifies one spot on the map. So this little square right here, the top left, oops, equals these two right here. And now we know that first square is 4, I don't know if you can see it, 4E04. Beautiful. Let's close that. Let's do something else. I'll show you my marker. And this is the reason I always use it. Boom. That's the top left tile now. And we just saved it. 4600. That is a totally unique, no other tile has the 46 in it, and that's how I mark things and I put there. So we're going to fill in some spots in this bridge, and I already conveniently enough mapped out how I do this whole thing by taking tiles I was curious about, placing them in the top left, and identifying what their like corresponding numbers are here. So that's why I know the marker is 4600. Okay. So conveniently enough, I plot out this course here. Now you can see it, but there's that same bridge. We're going to replace where you see the letters and numbers. Those are the cells we're going to replace. So, okay, so I take my marker. Oh, that's just right outside. Okay. There. Those are those two. And then just to the right of that rock, we got two. There. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's right. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 4. Okay. And then we see what all those are. Okay, beautiful. Now I saved it. I got all my markers in place. Let's open it with a hex editor. Now, okay, we got that one. Find. I already got it set up. I'm going to find all the 46s in this, which are only my markers. Okay, we got that first one. Let's find the next one. Okay, well, I guess it just went to the first one now. Find it again down, F3. So I'm going to hit F3. That's the next one, which is, that was the first one. It comes down to this marker right here. So now we know to go 3706. You gotta be careful not to mess up in here, because if you mess up the bin file, it's a nightmare. Okay, so that was what, 3706. We're gonna hit F3 and find the next one. Boom. Remember, it goes from left to right, like reading a book. We just replace that cell. We're now replacing these two cells, and that's CD02 and CD03. So we got, and see the two 46s next to each other. So that's CD02, CD3. Hit F3, move to the next cell, which will be what, this one right here, C106. C106. Hit F3 again, and this ought to be 4 in a row. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. And we got CB08, CB09, CB08, CB09, CB0A, CB0B, CB0A, CB. I think it's okay, so leave it in here. Close. let's open it back up in the editor. Remember, we were saving it in the bin while the editor was open. You got to make sure you overwrite stuff in the proper order, if you know what I'm saying. So, boom, beautiful. Now I'm going to take this, clean it up a little bit, and we got workable shores we can build from. We got that. See, it's ready to go. This can go just. It's going there. This can go here. Boom. Got a bridge going between two lakes. And that's the, pretty much the basics of what I was going for here, if that makes any sense to anybody. Okay. I'll just show you a little bit of, because temperate was always a real pain in the butt to try to make islands. I thought it was impossible. Luckily, I helped Kilkakon out with the map, and he had I never figured out before in the temperate theater. But basically, there's no, we got this piece for the southeast shore, this piece for the southwest shore. There's no north ones for those, so it's like you can't make an island. So I thought. Now let's start with this. Can't remember exactly what spot, but just to briefly show you. There, look, got an island there. I'll put this here. I know 1, 2, 3. There. Oops. Oh, where's a good one? I can. Oh, whatever. Here, let's use this guy. Yeah, see, believe it or not, those are an actual Westwood tiles that are supposed to line up in the shore. Looks like crap, but whatever. So now, look at that. And then, but see, my point is, now you basically can make an island. Oh, here, I love this one. Stack that infinitely. Yeah, that works out perfect there. Well, don't quite. Boom. And then what I'll do is, basically, I'll find a tile that fits there really well and hex edit that in. So I would go, boom, fix that one there. I think I already know which one I'd do. It's this tile right here we want. There's a tiny little bit of grass in the very southeast of it. So, boom, put that there. Yes. I'm gonna save this. Sorry, I got sidetracked here. I should just give me another example, I guess. So we're gonna save this as SCG20 just because I wanted it at the top of the list. And so now we're going to replace this cell with this cell. Okay. And it's 3304. Find 46. That's our marker. Oh shoot, what was that? 3304. 3304. This may not look perfect, but just for example, I made some pretty perfect looking islands by, I wish I would have written down or diagrammed all the proper combinations, but I know I've made a perfect looking island before, but heck, let's just see how it looks in game. But wait, no, you know what? not a good example, but I know if I put the right cell there, probably like this one or whatever, you can make it look really good. But that's basic. Looks better than it did. And then you could either be slick and do that, because the clumps of trees cannot be destroyed. Single trees can by like commandos, rocket men, things like that. Whatever. I'm going to wrap it up. This has gone on way too long enough anyways, but there you go. Hope that makes sense. Enjoy.